1957, Norwegian artist Carl Nesjar introduced Picasso to a new process of casting reinforced concrete, which allowed for its use in sculpture. This new technique, known as bettergrav, or concrete engraving, was developed by prominent Norwegian architect Erling Vigsio. Picasso immediately recognized the artistic potential of this new technique, and over the next 16 years, produced a series of monumental concrete sculptures based on cardboard cutouts transferred to metal that were executed by Nesjar. The Israel Museum's profile from 1967 is one of 14 such concrete sculptures. In 1966, Willem Sandberg, the museum's first art advisor, requested that Nesjar duplicate Picasso's profiles, created for a school in Marseille in 1965, for the museum's Billy Rose Art Garden. Picasso was at first reluctant, but Nesjar convinced him that the new sculpture would enjoy much greater exposure and visibility at the museum. Picasso gave his approval, supplying photographs marking the proposed site of the sculpture in the garden. The sculpture was fabricated in June 1967, despite the great difficulties posed by the Six-Day War, and was completed at the beginning of August 1967 with funding provided by Friends of the Israel Museum in Antwerp. The sculpture suggests the profile of Jacqueline Roch, Picasso's second wife, who lived with him for the last 20 years of his life and served as his model for many of his artworks. After 43 years, the concrete sculpture began to show signs of erosion, and it was decided to reconstruct the sculpture on site. The reconstruction was authorized by the Picasso administration in accordance with detailed specifications and executed entirely by hand by Israeli sculptor and concrete fabricator Dror Eshed.
This is a basic model of the sculpture which helped us to develop the construction method according to a laser 3D scan that we made earlier.
After casting a reinforced concrete plinth for the sculpture, a metal frame of steel tubing is constructed to support a giant mould. Wooden boards form a sidewall for a large encasement. Birch plywood pieces cut by computer are affixed to this wall to create the inner space of the sculpture. By fixing additional boards on the other side, the encasement is enclosed, completing the mould.
We have finished attaching all the plywood parts. Next, we will insert galvanized steel bars to reinforce the structure. We want to pour concrete.
While the crew worked on the mould, Dror examined the materials for the casting.
When we began exploring how to fabricate the sculpture, we examined gravel similar to the aggregate found in Picasso's original sculpture. We sorted the stones by hand, removing all those whose colors did not match. Finally, we washed them. We also experimented sandblasting concrete samples. This side is before blasting, the other side after.
The building of the mould took more than 5 weeks of work. On a warm summer evening in July, Dror and his crew finally finished the construction of the mould. Preparations for the casting were well underway. A special cement mixture was used, designed to improve durability, flexibility and strength. "36 hours after pouring the cement, the casting is finished and the sculpture can be revealed. The results are perfect. Sandblasting, the final stage in the process, reveals the aggregate beneath the surface of the concrete, the same texture that so excited Picasso. The old and new profiles stand side by side, but not for long. As the sun sets, the renewed Picasso profile takes pride of place in the Billy Rose Art Garden.